Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and Brad and I are doing a discussion over Pagan, the Fate of Roanoke, which was, surprisingly, one of Gen Con's hotness this year of our Lord 2024. And it was weird because I was going by their booth, because it was Capstone. Capstone? Yeah, Capstone Games, who had taken it, brought it over from, I think, Europe to the States. And I was kind of looking at it, because I remember seeing it, and the art style reminds me of Darkest Dungeon, if you ever played that video game.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you know, that witch theme is very popular nowadays, it seems like. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of intrigued. Went by, they kind of did a quick demo. It's like, oh, it's a two-player, you know, hidden role game, like deduction game. And I'm like, well, I love Mantis Falls, so that sounds intriguing. So I picked up a copy, and you and I played it pretty shortly after that, and then again to do it for the review. This game is fantastic. It's so good, and it's one of those where I do not know which side I like more. Like, because we have both now played both sides to just kind of see.
Yeah.
Because typically I like, in hidden role games, you know, Star Wars Rebellion or whatever, I like being the person that has the information, the one that knows, like, what they're trying to do. But being the hunter is also just as satisfying. Like, this game is just sings on all levels for me. So we'll get into the details more. But Brad, what are your thoughts?
I really like it too. It's one of those that it definitely makes you, because we've played both sides now. It's not difficult.
No, the rulebook format makes it
right.
It's like at times they're clear in things, but then other times they're not clear. You know,
right.
Like, for example, with like doing a familiar action, it's like, wait, does that replace the action or does it like enhance it? You know, it says augments the action, and it's like, well, that could mean two things. You know,
right. The thing is that is awesome with this, though, is I think the replayability is really high, even though it is a two-player with the same factions, mainly because there's tons of deck building you can do with it.
Yes.
Deck construction, not deck building. But
if you're getting the Capstone version, you only have the base game, but I know they have announced that they are planning to bring over the expansions. But if you can get a copy of the Wormgold, I think the only difference is...
Mine's actually Wormgold.
Oh, is yours?
From
Miniature Market? Okay.
Yeah.
I had the Capstone because that's what they were selling at Gen Con, and then someone was selling their full Kickstarter of everything. I'm like, well, I kind of want everything. Yeah. As far as I can tell, the only difference is card quality. Yeah. I think the cards are all the same, so you're not like, if you have a Capstone version, if you can find the expansions for the other production company, I think it's the same. So
what I was getting at, though, is like this one, you would, once you learn how to, like, it took me a little bit to figure out how to handle what you were doing.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't have been getting those piles of 6 Wisp secrets. Once I know, but I was like worried about my stuff. I was just letting those build up.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize, for one reason or another, I didn't realize you could convert all 6 to 2, like, just in one swoop.
Yep, because you can convert 3 secrets to a favor max of 2 times.
Right. So then I was like, well, shit. Now so I kind of got behind the 8 ball there a little bit, but now knowing that, and we go through and play it, then it's going to be tighter, you know, and kind of keep guessing.
Well, because every side has aspects to big swings. Like with the witch, she can just have all these brews just waiting to be used. The way I was able to get those 6 secrets stacked up was not because I was doing 1, 1, 1, and you were just like, duh!
Right.
It was like more so of like, oh, well, this round I'm going to consume this brew potion that lets me double the number of secrets I pass out, go to that place to dump 4 on one location, and I already had 2 there, and now it's still my turn, so I get to go there again, convert all of them, and now I have 2 favors, and that all happens before I use its power to get it twice. So it's like, there's a lot of big swings, and normally in games like this, it feels like there's a lot of like jockeying for position and being like, one side's really reactive to everything, but both sides can be very proactive on a lot of stuff.
Right.
The witch with her enchantments, and you with, I mean, allies that are so cheap on upkeep but they're so strong. Like, and then locations that only you can go to that it's like, oh man. Like,
I had a couple, but I just never could really find a good time to get it out.
I found locations to be like, man, these are so good, but that means I'm not going out on the board to villagers and blocking, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, because I had a card, like a charm card that was remove a location, but it's like, well, he's not putting any out, so I don't really have anything to use, but luckily I have my familiars that I can, these cards that don't do anything for me are still useful in some way. I will say, yeah, learning the game is easy, but because it's a 2-player deduction hidden role game, it's very difficult to figure out the nuance. Like, because where I had difficulty as the witch is like, how do I... Because the only way the witch wins is performing the ritual. You win in 2 ways. The hunter wins in 2 ways of exonerating all those characters, which it's like, okay, if you just keep going, because your clues don't go away unless I remove them.
At one point in the game, before you started, because what changed it was when you converted 6 of those to 2 deals, because I was just like, okay, I have my people going to the places with 3 clues. I was just like, I'm just going to, every time, I'm just going to spam it. Just drop 3 out there, keep loading that up, and just keep searching. I was just going to start spamming that deck, but then when you threw those 6 down and turned to 2, that changed everything.
Well,
so
it's
I was like, crap.
Yeah, so there was one moment where it's like, I was like, man, I don't think he knows who I am. You exonerated once this game, and then you like looked over at the red, and I'm like, shit, he got the mayor. Like because I had a lot of people stacked up on him, as well as
I
her.
looked over there on purpose.
I assumed, because I was like, did he do that to throw me off, or did he actually draw into that person? So I was like, okay, and I did a consume 6 on a few people on like 2 blues, and then you were getting rid of those, and you got rid of the mayor, and I'm like, oh, okay, so he doesn't have the mayor. He's not really focusing on green, and neither am I. So we both know it's not green. So I was like, maybe he thinks it's a blue, and then I did one power play that I miscalculated because I forgot that I was going to pull my people off.
And then I put all 3 there.
And I was like, it was whenever you're like, well, I pretty much know who you are. And I was like, oh, fuck. Because I think I was like, I had two secrets on there.
You had 2 secrets. You had 2 secrets and 2
favors.
Or 3 favors. You just couldn't go there because you had already been there.
Or
it was something because you had 3 and 2.
Oh no, yeah. It was, I had 2 favors and 3 secrets, but then you went and removed a favor,
right?
And I was like, shit, because it was like that was like 3 or 4 turns ago, but I was like, I was so sure I was going to get to win that next turn,
which it ended up being that case because then I had to remove. I mean, you kept taking that spot, so you were able to put on there faster than I could get them taken off.
Yes, so exactly. So it's like, okay, I think there was a point, because what's very interesting is you don't take turns back and forth, which I very much appreciate in this game. Otherwise, you would just be undoing.
Yeah, it would take forever.
It would take forever, and you would just be basically just doing a tug of war. So it's cool that it's like, oh, where my people are blocks you, and that can be huge. Because I was like, man, he's gonna pull some bullshit out of his ass. Because, like, to be able to kill, like, I had a brew that put secrets on all of them. So it's like, okay, that kind of covers my bases. As the witch, it was hard for me to kind of throw you off.
I found that too when I was controlling the witch.
Yeah. So I don't know what the play is for that. Maybe that's just a strength of some players. I think a lot of course, the abilities and stuff is eventually, like, not necessarily having to lie the entire game, but being like, oh, I'm going to play this the misdirect where I pulled all your clues off and just threw them onto someone else. It's like, okay, I just kind of stalled you to give myself an advantage, more so of me being like, did I do that on the widow because that's me? So, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot, like the enchantments, some of them are like, hey, I get to control your first action every round. Cost me 4 influence to get to place that out, but you have to now spend an action to get rid of that, which is super cheap. Do you find? I don't know. Because I don't think so. But do you find anything of any of these factions more powerful than what the other one has?
The potions can be super big time.
Yes, they can.
I mean,
but they also, they can. Yeah, the potions
there's
are
no counter
huge.
I can do to those.
There are there are yes there are
Okay.
cards in there that do remove brews, which the game is set around. Now you can do a starter deck of 30, and it tells you at the back of the book which one. But your deck is typically consisted of 50 cards, and yes, because I remember drawing. Whenever we played this, when you were the witch, I drew a card that was remove a brew. Potion, but you never had any, or you didn't have any that I thought was like, that's not that big of a deal for me right now. Because I would agree, the consumed potions are like, damn, that is huge. But at the same time, to even make that work, unless I have a card that says otherwise, I have to, instead of place secrets on villagers, place them into my cauldron, so it takes time to set up. Now, there are cards in here that are like, allure, add 4 secrets to a cauldron. That combined with most of the cauldrons
combo that you just like put that down, drop the allure, and then spew.
Yeah, the one that was like play 2 cards, but they're increased cost. It's like surplus. That I think that cost me 6. It was like add 1 secret to all villagers, and then allure was put 4 secrets on a brew, and that one costs 4 to pop off. And consume is the only like free action in the game. So it's like, haha, combo! This feels rewarding. Now, what does secrets on all the villagers do for me? Not much.
It just keeps me guessing. It's not like you're not focusing on it. When you do that, it spreads it out.
Keeps you guessing, and also like, because if I can get 2 favors on a villager, I get to do their ability twice. So all the abilities are good. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, well, at the very least, if I can get 2 favors on a couple people, I get to, like the one where I had 2 favors on her, and it's like, I'm going to draw 4 cards, and then I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to, play 2 cards, and now I have a whole hand of cards, because card draw is rough. Do you have any negatives?
At this point, I don't have a ton. I mean, like I said, it's one of those, the more you play a faction aside, you're going to get better at the game.
Yes. I do think this is one of those games, though, that is unfortunately, like, probably only going to play this with you, because if I've played the aside more, then it's like, well, it's unfair to the other person.
Well, and that's my worry, because I bought everything that I could retail for this.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's competitive, and I'm hoping that my wife likes it, because if my wife doesn't like it, there's no point in me even having
that
it.
Is
you know
true.
what I'm saying? Like so, and she's never played a hidden role game like that, so it's in the air right now with that. I would think, I think for a beginner, I almost think being the hunter is what like you should have the first person be, because it's more straightforward in my mind. Because I mean, you're playing these down, all you're doing is just puking tokens, and you're trying to do stuff. Over there you have like all the your cauldrons, you're trying to maneuver, you're having to try to throw people off your scent.
There's a race element on the witch's side, because over time I do not have, at least with the decks that we've played with, I don't have any way to really remove a lot of clue tokens from you. Most of the time they're getting removed because you're doing actions to remove things from me. So it's like, over time, anywhere you go, you're going to start getting boots.
Right.
Which then, just as an action, you remove 3 to draw a card. Not only is that a way for you to win if you remove all of those, but 2, it's process of elimination. So yeah, I would agree that it's like naturally the game is, if the game goes on too long, the hunter will eventually figure out who the witch is.
Especially for somebody that's never played a hidden movement and has to try to hide their emotions of when.
Yeah, like whenever you're doing anything, I have to sit here and just be like,
right, exactly. You don't have to hide anything.
Yeah.
As this, you're just putting stuff out.
It makes
just going for it.
It makes it easier though whenever you're doing things to who's not the witch, and it's like, no kidding, what an idiot.
I managed to kill somebody in this game.
I know,
and eliminated a false person, but
yeah,
you know,
it was funny because every time you went to who I was like, damn it, like he's blocking me. Like, quit going there. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. One thing that I think our very first game that we messed up on was we thought you had to have a clue on each person in that family, but it's actually you have to have a clue on every living villager, as well as 3 on that person you're killing. Which, because my worry was the same thing, and I even asked the people demoing, I'm like, wait, couldn't the hunter just randomly guess to kill someone and win? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, how is that balanced? And they're like, it takes a lot of work for them to do that. And the witch would basically have to sit here and let them.
Right.
Be like, yeah, no, I'm just not going to draw cards. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to stop you in any way. Because I feel like, do you think that there's any way that the witch can bum rush who they are?
Well, I mean, a lot of it just depends if you can lock down the locations.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's virtually what you did. I don't have enough actions to stop that. So like
no. So at the end of the game, yeah, I
right.
bum rushed because I needed to, because it was like, well, I think he knows who I am. I'd be very happy with myself, and I'm not this good of a player if that wasn't me. And then
that's why I went and killed that, because I figured, oh well, if you had some stupid potion that threw a bunch on there and you just went right there and it was done. That's why I killed that one, because I was just like, you know what, it would be your mind fuck to do that, and then
I know.
The winner would be clear out in left field.
Yeah, God, you have no idea how mad I would be if you just. I guess I'll kill this person and it is me. Why did you kill the widow? Earlier, it cracked me up because I don't know if you saw me, but because you shuffle the 9 cards and I draw one, that's who I am. I looked at it and I kind of cracked up because I'm like, of course, who I get is the person who looks the most like a witch. Yeah. I'm like, yep, that's definitely.
Oh, as far as you mean, just coming right out of the gate and just
start of the game. I only focus fire on who I am.
I mean, if you're that focused on it, I would kill it.
But that's the thing, is you'd have to again get 3 clues on it and then put a clue on every single person.
I mean, I would think it would be a rush, but that means you'd have to get what 9 and then get the.
Because I mean it'd be. At least 3, because again, it could be like at the very least with these villagers, because there's also a ton of villagers that have different abilities and things. Like it could be, since the witch starts, it could be boom boom. In this case, boom boom boom. Go there to convert it to a memory,
right.
And then I've locked those 3 places. Pull back, do the same thing.
Right, but when you pull back, well, yeah,
because you pull back at the start.
It's
of your
that
turn.
pull back, yeah. So I would have to the person would have to interrupt,
right,
and then try to take over those spots again.
But it's like, man, how do you do that? Because the only way you can ready someone is if you have a clue on them.
Right.
Oh, which is easy for you, because then you just go to someone like, okay, I'm gonna go to her, put the blue, put the things over there, and then blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's just a matter of trying to get the hold. But
I'd be very curious if someone was able to kind of just didn't even focus on anyone else, only tried to put one on who they were, basically playing like this.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, I'm the widow. Yeah, let's see if you can stop me. Even if you could, I think that it'd be very difficult, and I feel like everything would have to go right for you. And I don't know. I don't think that would be very fun. Fun way to play, because the game is also not necessarily that long.
No,
maybe, what do you think, an hour?
When we were whipping through it, I mean, we've been playing it for an hour and a half, or so. But I mean,
yeah, it's. I mean, and not only that, if this game alone was just cards to build decks, that'd be one thing. But there's an expansion. I haven't played the expansion, but it adds gloom cards. So
there's the gloom skulls,
yellow ribbon, and a cleanse effect. So it adds new unique cards, and there's scenarios. Scenarios determine the family, which are the type of like villagers that are out, and like different rule sets. And this game is cheap.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. That's why I went and nabbed it when
Yeah.
we played it, and then I looked up on Benchmark when we were done playing. And I was like, oh, and I just bought it. It was $75 to get the game, the wooden token upgrades, and the big playmat.
Yes.
It was $75 total.
Oh, I thought I got it. I'm a witch.
So that was just crazy, you know, to have.
Yeah. And I think like whenever I bought that person's Kickstarter, it was like, I think he like did 100 or something. It was like,
Yeah.
Because I mean, really, it's just cards. The playmat is sexy.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I like this playmat better.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's more laid out so you know what the actions are. The other one has a lot of the same stuff. It's kind of blended.
It does, yeah. It's almost like a map of everything.
It's blended in.
It does, yeah. Like whenever we first learned, we had that other map, and then we had the actual player boards next to us because it's like, what the fuck are these actions? Yeah, like, so which side do you like playing better?
After playing both, gosh, I don't know. I mean,
right?
I probably would say Hunter.
The Hunter? Okay.
I mean, it just.
I know,
slightly.
right?
I mean, it's well balanced and it's good either way. But I think I like, which is opposite of what I would normally say. Because normally I'm like you. I want to be the one that knows. Like in Rebellion, I want to be the one that knows where my base is.
Yes.
You know, and stuff, so I can go. But in this game, I kind of like this better.
Yeah. Well, because they kind of have, they have that Star Wars Rebellion thing where it's like, okay, I know exactly who I am from the game. That's the only thing I'm going to have hidden. But it flips it to where the Hunter will eventually start exonerating people, but then I don't know who. So it's like, I could be trying to mislead you with this person this whole game, and you're like, that's not you.
Right.
And it's like, but I don't know that.
Right. So there's hidden information on both sides.
Right. And I love the fact that it's like, okay, yeah, it's interesting because it feels like, oh, well, they're just the same. They're playing the same game, but it's rethemed. But you're really not.
No.
Like my brews are the equivalent of your locations. It's like, okay, you have location, but that means you have now new worker places to go to, and I have new secrets to place on.
Right.
Your locations are something you send workers to do new actions. I can save up my cauldrons to pop them whenever I want to consume them. You have allies that give you a variety of abilities that are very conditional, but they're passive unless you have to pay their upkeep. I have a unique worker that works just like anything, but I can modify it with these by just having an ability or empowering it.
So this would have been like that little lightning bolt on these is if you place a worker there, you just get that ability.
Yeah, it becomes a new location for you.
That's what
you have these investigation cards, I think is what they're called. That gets placed like you're investigating a particular villager. So if you're like, they seem... Well, because the cool thing is also, I'm just not trying to hide you from empty villagers. It's like all of them have powers that are really good. That it's like, okay, you seem to like to draw cards with this character, so I'm going to make sure every time you go there, I get 3 influence.
This is another way you beat that.
Oh, that's disgusting. Ew.
So I can place it.
Quarantine. Skip the distribute secret step.
Yeah. I mean, there's ways.
That's fucking nasty.
But
yeah, you have your investigate that locks down particular things. And didn't you have your scholar let you have more than one?
Yeah, I could have spammed them out if I wanted to on certain deals. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mainly just put her out because she had no upkeep, in case I drew into stuff.
Yeah. But then I have enchantments that are like board state that's like benefit for me or bad for you. Like the ones we played this game was that you finally left alone, which was probably my godsend.
Yeah.
It was, now I have a consistent to influence.
It wasn't because it cost. It was because I didn't have enough. At that point, I was trying to catch up.
Yeah.
And spending a worker out here to get rid of it was going to put me even further. I needed to keep putting stuff out there.
And funny enough, that one cost 2, and it was the most expensive for you to get rid of. But then other ones that I had,
which I mean, that's passive. Those other ones affected me big time, so I probably need to make it cheaper. So it's not.
It'd be if like hypnotism, which costs 3 for me, is the witch decides the action for the hunter's first worker. It must be visiting a villager. That only costs 1 for you to get rid of. And it's like, okay, well that's like...
But I wish this would have cost you more to put out.
Yeah, I mean...
It was only 2, and then you're going to gain 2.
I gained 2, yeah.
The other ones cost 4.
But I mean, again,
5.
it's not like it costs 6 or anything for you to get
Yeah.
rid of. So it takes you 1 worker to go there to get 2 influence to then go to lift enchantment to get rid of it. But like hypnotism, being able to control what you do. One that I played way early on was tardiness. All your allies' text boxes were blank, so you were paying the upkeep for nothing. And the cool thing is, even about those, and that cost me 4, and it costs 1 for you to get rid of. But even then, at least I get to use it once.
Yep.
And it burns it. I get to use it. It still burns you a worker to go get rid of it. It's like, okay, yeah, like those abilities aren't happening right now. You still pay the upkeep for nothing, and you lost an action. Okay, like I'm never upset when you go to get rid of it because I know for a fact if you didn't, you're just like letting the witch win. Oh, I did get you, bitch. To die. Sorry, y'all had to see that. Hopefully, hopefully PETA doesn't come after me. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Like I really like this game, and super thematic somehow.
Yep.
Kind of it. Like all the cards and stuff are thematic. It's not like I feel like I'm a witch or a hunter while playing the game.
Right.
Trying to think. I can't really think of anything else. I think honestly, yeah, I think I like being the witch more. It felt good to be able to build up like the potions and get really powerful swings of turns. But not once did I ever feel like I was like in control. I'm like, he has no idea who I am. This is gonna be a cinch. I'm just like, every time I'm like, I think I got it. I don't think he knows who I am. And then you started going towards like who I was, and I was like, okay, maybe not. Like maybe I need to try and end this before he really figures it out and just kills me. So I don't know. It's great. And if also kind of like what you were saying, play the hunter to like learn the game. There's another way where it's like you can play a starter deck for just the scenario 1, and it caps you at the 30 card deck, and it tells you how to build them. So it's like you can play a full game, but it's more simple and fast paced than a 50 card deck and additional rules. So there's another way you can learn. Yeah, this one's amazing. So, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I don't think so.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Pagan Fate of Roanoke?
I think I'm
For the record, there's also these are the 2 decks for the hunter, and then the 2 decks
to deck build.
To deck build.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many are in here. I think these are from all the expansions. So it's like these might be 50 cards each, and these are 50 cards here, so 150 cards, give or take, for each side. And then on top of how many scenarios? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 13 scenarios with the different houses, the different households.
So how many more villagers are there?
Actually, I can count from this. So you play with 9, so there's always 3, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 30
more.
30 more.
Not bad.
So, yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, why don't these have abilities? It's because it's the suspect cards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, like, for the Welcome to Roanoke, it's like Villager says the caretakers, which are like these. They say caretakers. But, like, for your first game, it tells you, the witch, you may perform the ritual when you have 2 favor on the true witch. And Hunter, the exonerated villager action only requires you to spend 1 boot. You don't need clues on other villagers to perform an eliminate a villager action.
Gotcha.
So, and it's like, we recommend you use starter decks, and then you just get more complex with just different rules for the witch and the hunter for each scenario.
So anyway, so I think I'm in at a really good solid 8.
A solid 6.
No, 8.
Oh,
I think an 8.
8.
Yeah. With the potential of being high. I mean, a lot of it's just going to be, you know.
If you actually can ever get it played.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but no, it's a superb 2-player game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Man. Do I do it? Fuck it. I'm gonna give it a 10. I really like it. If I liked one side more than the other, it probably would be a 9. But I really don't have negatives on this. Like, maybe, like, because it is kind of a more in-depth game of a head-to-head, it's like, maybe I'll only ever get to play this with, like, you or one other person. But at the same time, it's like, well, you know what? Like, maybe the first game of with a new person is just bad. Or the first couple games where it's like, okay, maybe the witch isn't your playstyle, try the hunter. And then you just kind of get into the nuance. Because what's great about this is it's not so much letting the game play you. There's also different playstyles, how tendencies of a player, how well they're good at bluffing on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
That it's like, I remember whenever we were playing this again, because it had been a little bit, like, I think it was like round 2. I was like, yep, I'm back into it.
Yeah.
So I got no complaints, especially with just how much content there is. I guess my only actual major complaint is with all the expansions, this is the shittiest fucking box to actually. It's like, come on, if you were gonna do a Kickstarter, why didn't you have a way to store your game? Come on.
Well, maybe if they do anything else, maybe they'll do something a little bigger.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who Wormgold is.
Since it was kind of more, I think it's a European company.
Gotcha. And I have no idea who these designers are.
No.
So, but love the art style as well. That goes a long way too. So it is fantastic. Because I gave Mantis Falls a 10. And
I
that.
never played that one.
Did you have it?
I don't have it.
You don't have Mantis Falls?
No, I was going to buy it at one point, but I haven't.
Oh, well, you're a fucking idiot.
That's what I was going to say, because Amy has never played a hit and roll thing.
If she likes this, then you should grab Mantis Falls.
Okay.
Mantis Falls is fantastic, as well as this. So, anyway, that's it, everyone. That's our thoughts on Pagan, Fate of Roanoke. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.